We're at our test facility and storage lot. Let's see what we're rolling out today. Well, looks like I'm still on the A list. They sent me a nice Lexus ES sedan, one of the nicest vehicles in the fleet. And this is a nice looking one with this metallic green paint. Very sharp looking. Looks pretty good from the rear too. And already I found one feature I don't like. I simply walked in back of the car and it automatically opened the trunk because it detected the key fob. I don't think I like that idea. I'm supposed to call the colors the way they list them, so this isn't metallic green, it's sunlight green for those interested. The first thing we do when we get a vehicle is check and see if there's a spare tire. Maybe I should look the first time the trunk opens, save some time, huh? Yes, indeed. A bit on the small side, but it's better than not having a spare at all. Most hybrids don't. We also tested and did a video on the Lexus RX 350. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video. Just go there and click and watch. And we also drove the 2021 Lexus LS-500, the so-called flagship of the Lexus line. If you got about 100 grand to spend, we'll have a link for that video at the end of this video as well. So you have 3 videos to watch instead of 1. And the second thing we do is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. We'll do that right now. And these are a very, very expensive option, as we'll see when we look at the price sheet. Okay, it's dark enough. Let's see what these headlights do. Look pretty bright. Here we have the low beams only about 100 feet away, very bright, not much height. High beams, very strong in the middle. And I see we have the heads-up display. I'll have to find a way to disconnect that. Don't need that nonsense. Here's what the rearview camera looks like on the super wide infotainment screen. Pretty good resolution. Pretty good light up considering it's pretty dark back there. As you can see. And here are the high beams on the fence line, 80 yards away. The building behind, 130 yards away. Good widespread, good light. Low beams, just reach out, or they're inadequate for city driving. And when you turn the steering wheel to the left or right, we get side marker lights, so you don't run over the winos in a dark parking lot. And these are active headlights. They mean they swivel in the same direction as you're turning the steering wheel, which comes in handy when taking corners. There are 3 models of the ES. Most popular is the 3.5 liter V6 version, putting out 302 horsepower. New is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, putting out 203 horsepower. This is the 2.5 liter hybrid. It puts out 215 horsepower, and here's the clean fuel economy. Nice if you can get it. We'll be taking it out in the real world to see if that's true. That's what you're here for, right? The 4-cylinder ES-300h sells for around $40,000 base. Let's take a look at the price sticker on this one. So here's the total tab after options. As we can see here, some of the stuff should be standard. I mean, charging extra for a door edge guard or a trunk mat. It's a luxury car. Shouldn't these things be standard? Like so. $145 for the door edge guard and $385 for a floor mat. Come on, guys. Seriously. And then $1,515 is for the LED headlights. You would think that'd be standard as well. Apparently not. These used to be all made in Japan. They actually have a plant in India now, of all places, but this one's made in the good old state of Kentucky. In case you're wondering what door edge guards are, right here, and nice to have, but the fact they're charging $140 extra for these is really kind of pathetic. They should be standard on a luxury car, shouldn't they? Alright, let's take a look at the cabin. One thing I don't care for, the extra wide rocker panels. I'm always rubbing my leg on this area here when I get in and out in mud, snow, dirt builds up on this area and gets on your pants if you don't keep it clean. And my second gripe on the older Lexus vehicles, you had a swizzle stick to control the infotainment system. Here we get the finger touch pad, which is very awkward to use. And that's when you're sitting still, when you're driving, bumping around on the road. This is extremely awkward to use and takes an awful lot of practice. I wish car manufacturers would do away with these finger touch systems, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Other than those two little gripes, I have no complaints. We get a nice large glove box. I have room in here because I took out the super thick owner's book and put it somewhere else. A nice set of sun visors that do a good job blocking out the heat from the side windows. All the climate controls are right here in front of you, easy to use once you figure out the buttons. You want air conditioned or heated seats, no need to scroll through the infotainment system, simple buttons right here. The gauge cluster is well designed, gives lots of useful information. The only flaw is at certain times of the day we get that infamous Lexus reflection. It seems to be in all their vehicles, or most of them anyway. Not to mention Toyotas. You know, there are major test facilities in Arizona where the sun shines almost every day of the year. You think they would notice this glare and do something about it, but apparently not. Maybe the sun doesn't shine in Japan where they designed this. Surprisingly, we get a drive mode knob, something that usually comes on Lexus performance vehicles. I didn't think I'd see this on a hybrid. Not only normal, but sport and eco. A sport mode and a hybrid. That's interesting. All of our driving will be in the normal mode unless I say otherwise. The knob to disconnect the traction control. And for all you drag racers, paddle shifters on the steering wheel, where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do, which is a dumb place to put them. They belong here on the wheel. I doubt there's any hybrid drivers out there that are going to use these paddle shifters, but nice to know they're there anyway. And we get a very large info screen. Looks even better in the daytime than it did at night. Very good high resolution on the image camera system. And the second row seating has plenty of room back here. And the quality of this leather is fantastic. In fact, the workmanship overall is very nice, as you would expect on a luxury vehicle. The first half of the video show and tell is over. Second half we're going out and do some driving. Just a note, I put 112 miles in mixed commuting. That's 50% city, 50% expressway. And getting 33.1 mpg in the real world. This was in hot weather. It's 99 degrees at the moment, but it's early morning. Radiating temps of around 112 to 114 by the time the afternoon rolls around. A lot of hybrids don't like heat. They work better in cool climates, I found. But summertime, there's not much I can do about that. The power steering is a bit too light for my taste, but it's quick and responsive. And extremely light. Light as a feather, and I think that's what most hybrid drivers are going to want, so more than acceptable, I think. One thing you'll notice, we get a lot of reflections in the windshield from the dash at certain angles of the sun. Not a deal killer, just annoying at certain times of the day. This ES is one of the smoothest riding vehicles I've ever had on the street. Let's see what it does on these speed humps at 20 miles per hour. A bit of thumping from the tires, but the suspension did a great job of absorbing the impact. Here's number 2. Smooth and quiet. Very solid body structure, by the way. And here comes the rough speed bump. Did pretty good. With just over 200 horsepower, pulling almost 2 tons, test weight, 0 to 60 times aren't going to melt the tires, but there's a lot of torque from this electrical system. Torque is what moves the car. So let's do a 0 to 60 run here. Bottom end pickup's pretty good. Very smooth and quiet too. Nice brakes. Alright, we put 190 miles on this vehicle so far, but apparently we have 240 miles left. A lot of driving to drain this tank. That's if we're averaging 32 mpg. We'll take a highway trip, see if we can bump these numbers up a bit more. After resetting to 0. Well, we won't be taking this exit. Another happy hour crash. Whoa, that doesn't look good. This Lexus is a nice highway cruiser. We're driving on some very rough pavement here because of road construction, but the ride is still pretty comfortable. This is great for long trips. We're coming to the end stretch. I'll pull over and see what the fuel economy reading is. Alright, 52 miles, 41 to the gallon. I was getting 43, but I was getting kind of heavy on the throttle passing, so dropped to 41. Lexus, you gotta do something about the glare on these gauge clusters. Really? Come on. I still can't understand why I'm the only person that seems to notice this, or at least the only person that mentions it in my reviews. I know others must see this, they're not blind. What's their problem? Well, somebody's late for the donut shop. This is a very nice car for long trips. If I was driving from Los Angeles to New York, this would be my first choice. So what's my take on the ES-300h hybrid after a week of driving? Well, you know, the LS sedan is supposed to be the top-of-the-line Lexus vehicle. For 100 grand it should be, but I think the ES series is the best car overall in the Lexus lineup. It offers all the great quality, luxury, and comfort you would want in a luxury sedan. It is for half the price of the larger Lexus LS as well. Personally, I prefer the ES-350 with the V6, but I have to admit this little hybrid engine is a great performer. Lots of bottom end power, great fuel economy, very smooth and quiet. Definitely worth considering. Here are some other Lexus vehicles we've driven, did videos on. Just click and watch.